I'm Dave Stotts, and I'm here in Paris, France, the City of Lights. This is my starting point as I journey across Northern Europe to explore some of the world's most breathtaking sights, as well as some of history's most profound stories about the continuing spread of the gospel of Jesus Christ. There are many places around the world where Christians have built churches, basilicas, and cathedrals for people to gather together to worship Jesus Christ. Few, however, compared to the structures in this amazing city. Paris is home to many of history's most stunning places of worship, which stand today as epic testimonies to a complex heritage of Christianity here. From the fall of the Roman Empire in 476 AD to the start of the French Revolution in 1789. Many of these breathtaking structures were nearly lost to history as a result of the French Revolution. But the 19th century brought a renewed interest in restoring these Christian landmarks. This is Notre Dame Cathedral, technically the only true cathedral in Paris. Now, the word cathedral is Latin for chair and gets its name because it's where the bishop of a city or region has his official seat. Notre Dame is one of the most awe-inspiring Gothic cathedrals in the world. Built between the 12th and 14th centuries, Notre Dame was the centerpiece, the heartbeat of medieval Paris. And when I say center, I do mean center. Just in front of the cathedral is the official 0-mile marker of Paris. This island in the River Seine, the Île de la Cité, has been considered the center of the map of Paris for centuries. Notre Dame Cathedral took about 300 years to build. The long construction period is evident in its many styles of architecture. Some of the most interesting features here at Notre Dame are the infamous gargoyles that lurk about the balconies and rooftops. Gargoyles were originally created to decorate drain spouts in the gutters which carry water away from the building to prevent erosion damage. Notre Dame also has a number of statues known as grotesques, which just sit there in eerie poses. Many scholars believe these scary-looking creatures were meant to scare off evil spirits, which seems a tad ironic to me. Inside Notre Dame, which means Our Lady in French, we see vast displays of stained glass, artwork, and furniture that stick with its neo-Gothic design. This place is truly incredible and still holds Mass 3 times a day for Christian visitors. A number of significant historical events also happened here inside Notre Dame, including the crowning of King Henry VI of England in 1431, the crowning of Napoleon Bonaparte as French Emperor in 1804, and in classic literature, it was the setting for Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, published in 1831. Here on the Île de la Cité, the same island as the Notre Dame Cathedral, is the Palais de la Cité. By the way, before you guys start doubting my mastery of the French accent, I'll have you know that just this morning I ordered a croissant for breakfast. And my barista barely even laughed. Much. Anyway, Palais de la Cité was home for the kings of France from the 6th century to the 14th century. From the 14th century to the French Revolution, it was the headquarters for the French treasury, courts, and assembly of nobles. During the Reign of Terror of late 18th century, this place was converted to a courthouse and prison, where Marie Antoinette and others were held, tried, and sometimes beheaded. Today, the most beautiful structure that remains here on the palace grounds is the Sainte-Chapelle, the former royal chapel. The Sainte-Chapelle is one of Europe's finest examples of high Gothic architecture. Built between 1242 and 1248 under order of King Louis IX, the structure was originally designed as a royal chapel to house the holy relics of the Passion of the Christ. These are said to include the crown of thorns and a fragment of the Holy Cross, which had previously belonged to the church leaders of Constantinople. Louis IX's ambition was to make Paris a new Jerusalem. The Sainte-Chapelle was badly damaged during the French Revolution. While much of the building was reconstructed, most of the original stained glass survived. Here we see a stunning sight. 1,113 biblical scenes carefully etched into 15 stained glass windows. When the light hits just right, this place has a type of ethereal beauty that cannot be adequately described. You just have to come here to experience it for yourself. While I could visit these ancient churches in Paris for days, the history of Christianity in Northern Europe really begins much earlier and much further north. So, let's pack up and catch the train to Germany to investigate our next story.